Did you say something about finding relief from a thinking-based existence or a thinking-based life?
And thinking is a tool for the brain. What some people look for relief is too much thinking. But thinking has a role to play as anything else. Too much thinking from the idea that I'm a doer and I must undertake that and that activity to be at peace. But when you realize, when you fulfill that peace is actually at the back of any activity, that activity may be an expression of peace, but certainly not a way toward peace, naturally the thinking will reduce. Thinking comes from the fantasy, I'm a thinker. But at some point you realize that there's no thinker, because thinking is purely mechanic. You see this politician on TV, you think that. You see another politician, you think that. Take some drug, you think that. You have been raped, when you were young, you think that. You have been, somebody tell you, I love you, you think that. Somebody tell you, I leave you, you think that. We don't think, we are thought. Thinking is purely passive. Take some drug, you're going to think that, and you eat too much sugar, you're going to think like that, and you drink too much whiskey, and you're going to think like that. Thinking is purely mechanical. So it is a lack of clarity that will make somebody try to, like some people said, oh, I think that. But I think that is meaningless. We don't think that. We have accumulated an element, you read this, you read that, then you think that, but you don't think that. Just the result of book accumulation, information. We don't think, we are thought. So when you realize deeply that thinking is only memory, then that what you're looking for is something unknown. To use the thinking to reach what you're looking for doesn't take place anymore. So what you're looking for cannot be sought. So the dynamism, the stimulation of thinking reduced immensely by simply seeing the perspective. That I can only think the past. I cannot think something new. What you call new is the cycle of the past. And when you're looking for something unknown, so thinking has to be abandoned, not for driving a car, not for investing money, not for making war, but to find what you are. Thinking has no role to play, but to show its own limitation. When thinking sees limitation, in certain ways, thinking becomes functional. You thinking when you need some time to think. But you don't think like people who try to have a deep thinking and they think of meditation, they think of God, they think of non-duality. They don't think they are thought by books they have read, by information they have, and this is childish. So at some point you don't think what they think, you know. You don't think you don't think say you think. You can think very little thing. But seriousness has nothing to do with thinking. Seriousness is listening. And there's no thinking in this. So you keep your thinking to functional things. But when you approach life, you give up thinking because you know that you're going to cover life with your own fantasy. You have been raised as a Buddhist, you have been raised as a Muslim, you have been raised as a Hindu, you have been raised as a fascist, you have been raised as a scientific, you have been raised as French, as British, you have been raised as Jew, you have been raised as being rich, being poor, and you think from that. So your thinking is polluted from the very moment you think. So thinking, say you think, is a lack of seriousness. When somebody is serious, he doesn't think about something serious. He thinks about functional things. But it's serious, it's surrendering. Then seriousness comes from surrendering. from listening, not from thinking. And of course, if you realize that thinking comes from feeling, because we can only think with image, with language, and the language is based on feeling of the five senses. We cannot think without the five senses. Then you realize that more you're going to extend the feeling, the need to think will reduce to, because life is feeling, not thinking. So if somebody touches your hand, the fantasy to think something about it, I like, I don't like it, is replaced by feeling. So when you live in feeling, any part of you, when you touch the whole part, is touch. Like you do both things, any part you get hit, the whole part get hit. You absorb like that. When you feel the sound of a car, the whole body is caressed by the sound of a car, not just the hearing. The more you live in a global feeling, less the need of to conceptualize your feeling come to you. At the point you don't know if you like or if you don't like. Somebody asks you like that, it may be difficult to answer because it means nothing for you. It's like if you strangle your girlfriend and slowly, and you want her to tell you when it is pleasure, when it is pain. At the point you don't know. Life is not knowing. Pleasure and pain actually extremely close. So more you live in feeling, more you, the bourgeois category of like, dislike, pain, and pleasure, and yes and no, and go away. And what remains is the wholeness. So the perspective, you see what you think is irrelevant because you think of your past. You think because of your parents, you think because of your experience, you think because the channel TV you watch, and you think because the last book you read. You don't think, you thought. And abiding in feeling will make that thinking, will come back to its natural place, to its functional place. Like when you need to walk, you use your leg. When you're sitting, you don't use your legs. Then you need to think, you use your thinking process. But when you look at beauty, when you smell a child, when you hear a noise, you don't think, you feel. And if somebody asks you, do you like this or not? At some point it becomes hard to answer because what you feel cannot be explained by word anyway. So thinking is a very limited tool. It has this practical element, but it's no deep thinking. Thinking is superficial. I must see that. Thinking is generally a lack of listening. People who think constantly, they don't feel. That's why it's important in life. You should run to accent art and beauty and dancing and music and poetry and sport so the child is built by feeling and sometimes little thinking. But thinker live in their own head and it has no room in a traditional approach.